What's up, YouTube? I'm Brett from Rants. As always, guys, if y'all enjoy our content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave that comment down below. So it looks like the Black Widow movie would be the last time that we ever see Scarlett Johansson in the MCU, which I'll be honest, is a little bit sad. You know, taking that, for what, the last 10 years, we've seen, Robert Downey Jr., Scarlett Johansson, and many others, played multiple parts in basically a decade's worth of movies, and now it's all gone. Now, they've left and don't feel like they're coming back. Phase 4 to me seems very bleak. Look, I wasn't a gigantic Black Widow fan. I enjoyed her in the Avengers movie, but it wasn't like I was like, I hope she gets her own standalone movie. I didn't like her that much. But I'll tell you, this is probably actually going to be the highlight of Phase 4, if you ask me. I really do believe it is. I think this is going to be the make or break movie for the MCU moving forward, and whether or not it continues to go at the same rate, same pace, and at the current trajectory. Simply because if it is a huge hit, Scarlett Johansson says that that'll be the last time that she's ever going to play Black Widow. But if it's a huge hit, she gets paid. I think she got paid like $16 million to play this role. I could be wrong, could even be more. But I mean, it was a lot of money. So if it's a hit, it would be really hard for her to turn down that role. I would be really shocked. Look, I've said here on Rants, I think a lot of the reasons why a lot of these actors and actresses are deciding to leave right now is because they're leaving while it's hot. There's only so long that they can keep this up. And I feel like, I don't know, Phase 4 to me is going to be the greatest test the MCU has to face. Of course, they've had up and down success with the series. Of course, you have the Loki series that's going on right now. You had WandaVision that I thought was great until the very end. And then Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which was kind of hit or miss with me. So I won't really say that they broke the mold when it comes to the series. I felt like they stayed afloat in a lot of areas when it comes to the series. But the idea that the MCU is going to be as powerful moving forward, I just don't see it. I don't see it. And I think maybe Scarlett Johansson sees the writing on the wall too. But let's go ahead and let's read in her words what she has to say about it. It says, since it was initially announced, it has long been assumed that Black Widow would be Scarlett Johansson's swan song as the titular character. Considering that she sacrificed herself in Avengers Endgame to obtain the Soul Stone, for her last hurrah, Black Widow flashes back to a time after 2016's Captain America Civil War and before 2018's Avenger Infinity War, when Nat is still on the run for violating the Sokovia Accords. While the same questions about Johansson's MCU future persist, the Black Widow star is now reiterating her stance. She says, along with many fans, Johansson has waited a long time for Black Widow to be seen by the world. Now that it's almost here, Johansson, who has portrayed Natasha Romanoff since 2010's Iron Man 2, is being pressed with questions about her place in the future of Marvel's cinematic universe. Wow, it's hard to believe that's been 11 years ago. In an interview with Variety, Johansson addressed the big question of whether Black Widow will be her final portrayal as Natasha Romanoff. I never feel like my work is done. I still think of new ways I could try lines from movies I shot 10 years ago. I really am happy with the work I accomplished in the last decade, plus at Marvel. I don't know why she added, I'm really happy with all the movies that I've done, plus the movies that were at Marvel too. That almost kind of seemed like a shot at Marvel in a way. I I feel like I'm going out on a high note with a movie I'm incredibly proud of. I feel like my work with Natasha is complete. If that is such a thing, I've explored many facets of her person and feel that her choice to sacrifice her life for her best friends was one that she made actively and with resolve. It says Johansson's answer does not definitively rule out the possibility of future MCU appearances, but she does seem content with this being her final portrayal. If Black Widow is Johansson's last MCU film, it would be a great time to go out on top. Early reviews are commending her first solo adventure for its entertaining action, with plenty of praise for Johansson and the supporting cast performances. You know what? I get it. It's going to make a lot of money. It's going to make a ton of money. I still think that if you're talking movie wise of how good or bad something is, I still feel like these early reviews from these critics probably aren't the thing to pay attention to, because what I've seen of people that have actually seen the movie that aren't these critics that are looking to get early reviews so they give good reviews to these movies, is that it's kind of a generic movie and that no one really stands out in it that much. So I don't know if this is going to be a fitting end to her character. But you know what? If Marvel, let's say Marvel makes $1 billion off of it, which I don't think they will, I think they'll probably make, I mean, if I had to put a number on it, I would say 700 million and up. But I don't believe that it's going to hit that $1 billion mark. I really don't. And it just kind of makes you wonder, if it doesn't, what if it even does worse than that? Will Marvel consider it a success? Or will that just be the end that we ever see of any Black Widow character or Scarlett Johansson in the MCU altogether anyways? So you know what? At the end of the day, she might not have even a choice in it. I mean, you know, it just depends on how this movie goes. I do believe, let's say it does hit $1 billion. I wouldn't be shocked if she comes back. I really wouldn't be. You know, look, it's not like the MCU is doesn't necessarily bring back characters that die. We know they do. Loki is a very good example of that. So I mean, you know, it's not like it's unheard of that they would do such a thing. I think it all depends upon the success of this movie. But I think this movie is a very, very important movie for Marvel moving forward. I think if this movie is just completely and totally fails, I don't know where the Marvel goes from here. You could say maybe Doctor Strange, but a lot of fans, including myself, got really hurt by the end of WandaVision and how it kind of seemed like all WandaVision was there for was to kind of build up Doctor Strange. I didn't like that about WandaVision. And I'll be honest, it kind of took my excitement out of Doctor Strange too. So, I mean, you know, we'll just have to see. I still think Doctor Strange 2 is going to be a really good movie, but we'll just have to see. But let me know down in the comments below. Do you think this will be the last time that you see Natasha Romanoff? Do you really believe that? Or do you think Scarlett Johansson is going to be like, you know what? I'm not going to retire Natasha just yet. I'm going to see if I can make another $1 billion movie. I think it all just depends. If it's a flop, probably not. If it's a success, wouldn't be shocked if we see a Black Widow 2 in the near future. As always, guys, let me know what y'all think down below. Take care.